its key functions, its impacts, and the different types of language. We'll begin by exploring how language serves as our primary tool for human interaction. We'll also look at how language works as a system, the function it serves, the impact of our whole choices, and the different types of language. Language is more than just words. It shapes our reality, relationships, and the general understanding of the world. I will begin by asking ourselves what is language? As I said earlier, language is a structured system of communication using spoken, can use written or symbolic words. It allows us to share complex ideas, emotions, and abstract concepts. It's what sets, or rather, it is what separates us and enables us to build knowledge and connection across generations. We also have language. There's something also we have language rules. Language operates through key different rule systems. We have semantic rules. This means the meaning of the words. We have syntactic rules. This includes grammar and sentence structures. We also have pragmatic rules. This is how context shapes interpretation. They all work together to ensure clear and effective communication. Let's dive into each of the rules one by one. Semantic rule gives words their dictionary definitions, but also context is key. For example, the word fly can mean an insect, an action, or a part of a zipper. Shared meanings help us communicate clearly, but misunderstandings can occur if we assume everyone interprets words the same way. We also have syntactic rules, which governs how we arrange words and how we use punctuations. It's classically a grammar and structure. It also involves punctuation changes and meanings, word orders. An example I can give is eat grandma versus let's eat grandma. The comma makes all the difference in that example. Syntax, they ensure that we have clarity and credibility in communication. We also have pragmatic rules. This one help us interpret messages completely. They also give relationship context. Relationship context matters. What I can say about pragmatic rules is they help us read between the lines. They also it considers who is speaking, the relationship, and the context. For instance, I can give an example of Netflix and chill, which means that it's not just about watching the TV. Understanding pragmatics helps us prevent miscommunication, especially across cultures. And next we have words. Words create reality. The words we choose don't just describe reality; they shape it. Labeling someone as strong but as stubborn frames the same behavior but differently. This power extends to self-perception and even political messaging. Words literally build our world. To move on the next slide, I will explain how words reflect attitudes. Our world choices reveal our attitudes. Describing someone as thrifty versus cheap reflects how we view their actions. Being mindful of these connotations can help us communicate more intentionally and recognize bias in others. I will also talk about meta messages. Meta messages are the underlying messages about relationships and feelings. For example, the term fine can convey frustration without saying it directly. Effective communicators align words with their tone and nonverbal cues to avoid mixed signals. Then on next slide, I will talk about how language functions. How language functions. Language serves seven primary functions, each with unique purpose. I'll briefly go through each one below. I'll begin with the instrumental function. Instrumental function is about fulfilling needs. From a baby's cry to an adult's request, instrumental language helps us control our environment and get what we need. There is also a regulatory function. A regulatory function influences other people's behavior. Think of parents setting rules or managers giving direction. It's about guidance and persuasion. Then we also have interaction or function, which builds and maintains relationships. This includes small talks, greetings, and expressions like thank you, which help us connect with others. I'll also talk about the next function, which is imaginative function. Imaginative function allows us to create and explore our imaginary worlds through storytelling, role playing, or humor. It's not just for the kids; it fuels creativity and problem solving. And I will also talk about personal function. Personal function, we use language to express identity and emotions. Statements like I am an introvert or I feel happy can they help us define who we are. Then there's also another one called ritual function. Ritual function. Under ritual function, we have a ritual language which includes automatic phrases like hello and goodbye. These are social scripts which help maintain cultural norms and smooth interactions. The next function is a heuristic function, which is a language of learning and discovery. This involves asking questions, exploring ideas, and seeking knowledge. All fall under the heuristic communication. And we also have on the next slide we have a representational function, which representational language conveys facts and information clearly. It's a straightforward and objective, like stating the meeting starts at 3 p.m. or 4 p.m. Then on the next slide, we have cultural functions of words. Language and culture are deeply linked. The Sapir-Whorf hypothesis suggests that language shapes how we see the world. Different languages reflect different cultural values and the ways of thinking. And on the next slide, I will talk about linguistic determinism and how language influences thoughts, perception shaped language, the worldview, how the worldview is culturally created, and the word structure thinking. This is a strong version of Sapir-Whorf. It suggests that language determines thought. For example, if a language has no word for a concept, it may be hard to grasp that concept fully. We also have linguistic relativity. The more moderate view, language influences but doesn't determine thought. Different languages offer unique ways to express ideas and emotions, enriching our understanding of the world.